Hi, very good evening, friends. This is another episode of Point Noted, LinkedIn, and other social media live program from Machine Maker. Today, we have a great friend of mine as the guest today, Pradhyumna Ingle, whom I met almost before 2 decades. And that time, he was working with Lincoln Helios, and within just couple of years he joined from there to Henkel Loctite. I still remember visiting his factory in Bangalore, Fraser Town. I was just talking to him a couple of days and I just confirmed that it is there in that Coxtown, because Bangalore also have a lot of great memories for me as a youngster working in the field. So a relationship of more than 20 years, we were able to reconnect. The power of LinkedIn and the other social media, that he just got away from India and just not supporting the people, the manufacturing community and other people lives in India. He's now gone to China. He was there in Shanghai. Now he is in Singapore as the Asia Pacific regional head for Henkel general manufacturing and consumer adhesives. So welcome Pradhyumna Ingle to the Point Noted session powered by Machine Maker.
Very good evening, Hari, to you and also to all your audience. I must start by thanking you for having me over, but also by congratulating you for a fabulous job that you've done. I still remember 20 years ago, there are so many people you meet every day, right? But there are some people who always stay in your memory, and you are definitely one of those special people because I remember when we first met, you were so passionate about media, you were so passionate about industrial publication, and those were early days for B2B publications. So
True.
I'm so happy to see how you have actually given a purpose to what you do, and you made that into a mission. Machine Maker platform is one of the most and best well-known platforms on social media today for B2B. I follow it, and I understand that more than 7,000 people follow it. And I'm sure with those 7,000 followers, which will grow, I'm very sure exponentially, you have a tremendous visibility. And with that visibility come networking opportunities, connections, and you are truly an enabler, Hari. So kudos to you, to your team for doing such a wonderful work. And once again, thank you for having me on your show.
Thanks for your wonderful words, Pradyumna. So, actually, there is a reason for which Pradyumna is here. Actually, we are going to talk about a technology from Loctite. So, we talk about Loctite. Actually, that company was started in 1956 by Dr. Vernon Kribble at Connecticut. Eventually, this company was taken over by Henkel, one of the global manufacturer. I think that was in the year of 2007, 2000.
1997.
Sorry, 1997. Yeah, 25 years you are celebrating this year, 25 years. And actually, Fritz Henkel started Henkel in 1876. So, this is a very old technological company who is empowering people's life, companies, and all those things. I was browsing LinkedIn a month before, and I've seen that his colleague from Europe shared a post in where Henkel is partnering with particular, helped many projects. And there I just given a comment because I liked the technology how they are doing. And that is when Pradyumna came and shared, commented there, telling that why can't you just see this video? And this video was so amazing to see. A penguin lost her leg and she was not able to walk. This also was there in Connecticut in US, where Henkel is having their head office. So Mystic. So the Mystic school children, the students, they made a additive 3D printed boots for these pups, for this penguin, and it was wonderful. It was working fine, but unfortunately, the material whatever they used during the wear and tear, it used to break. And that is when, through one of their associate, Loctite Henkel was invited. Loctite made a separate, they innovated an adhesive, exclusive adhesive, so that all these environment is not polluted and this is going to in a living being, and they were able to make a permanent 3D printed boot. And thanks to Pradhyumna, and I was seriously, I'm telling you, I like that. And thanks to you, we made a story of it and we published. And that is when we realized Loctite is having a special division to ensure, be it the mummies in Egypt, if there is any repair, Loctite adhesives or Henkel solutions are used. So this is something wonderful. So we decided to request Pradhyumna to come and share all these things, how these bonding technologies, which is connected with us, we don't know. Every product we use, there is a kind of adhesive. Today, I was talking to a gentleman, he was telling because of an adhesive, a person who started, a passionate manufacturer, who started his manufacturing journey by manufacturing this pin, stapler pin. He needs to close down because a problem in his adhesive 3.5 years back. He needs to close down his factory. And now he's working, he's managing director in a German company. That's a different issue. He was telling his story before 22 years. So the adhesives are very important, which connects us. So Pradyumna, I would like to know these kind of special projects and how this bonding technology is helping us.
Absolutely, Hari. So, Hari, you actually captured the beginnings of Loctite and beginnings of Henkel really well. Henkel, as you mentioned, started in 1876, so now almost 145 years for Henkel. And our purpose, as we define, why we do what we do, is we are pioneers at heart for the generation, good of generations. Pioneers at heart for the good of generations, right? So that actually truly defines what you mentioned about Purps, the penguin story that you spoke about. What we're trying to do here is to transform industries, help our customers to shape the industries of future and bring those innovations. As you rightly said, when we look around ourselves, there is hardly any new modern invention that we can think of which has not been enabled by the power of adhesives. Whether it is aeroplanes, modern cars, mobile phones, to diapers, to the chips that we eat, the potato chips, the packaging for those, all of those have an adhesive, and they would not be possible in their current form and shape without the help of an adhesive. Just to give you an example, a modern car has more than 300 applications of adhesives in every car. A smartphone that we use has more than 50 such applications. So the opportunities for adhesives and the value that adhesives bring to make these devices possible are tremendous. First of all, they allow the designers, manufacturers to use different substrates together. You cannot weld glass to metal, right? You cannot join steel and aluminium by welding. You can't put bolts so reliably in many of these substrates. So first of all, they allowed a variety of substrates to come together into the assembly. They also make assemblies more lighter, right? Because when you are removing fasteners, just imagine the weight of every bolt that you replace using adhesive. It is the lightweighting is tremendous, and it is extremely important to do that, because just imagine an aircraft which has to become lighter and lighter so it can have a better fuel efficiency. Almost 50% of modern aircrafts is made of composite material now and not metal, and you can't use composites if you don't have adhesives to join them. Third, and very importantly, they make assemblies very more reliable because they allow for better load distribution versus fastening or welding. The adhesives make sure that it is not only a bond but also sealing. So the value that adhesives bring to modern assemblies is tremendous, and that's why they are adopted in so many industries around the world. They are enabling truly all the mega trends, whether it is mobility, whether it is digitalization, whether it is sustainability. Many of these mega trends today are enabled by the power of adhesives. You gave an example of Purps, but there are so many modern examples. There where Henkel adhesives have played an important role. Other day when we were talking about, I shared one example which was very famous. Obviously, it's not an industry that we work in, and hopefully we don't have to make such adhesives where we have to help a penguin who is hurt. We don't want the penguins to be hurt, but accidents happen. There was an accident where Tutankhamun, the famous Egyptian pharaoh, his 3,000-year-old golden mask was damaged during cleaning, and the long beard attached to the mask actually fell off. It was assembled in a hurry by the local engineers, and they used the wrong adhesive to fix it, which actually damaged the mask even further. So the local authorities then actually put together a SWAT team to assemble and renovate and bring it back to the original form, that golden mask. And they invited Henkel engineers and scientists to come. We actually developed a specialized, dedicated formulation which can make sure that the original shape and form of that mask is restored. So that was another example that I think I shared the other day with you. But again, we hope truly that we don't have to do this too often, and our heritage, whether it is man-made or natural, is remains as it is.
This is very important, isn't it, when we are talking about taking care of our ancient and I'm sure that I don't know that if you did any project for India, because India as such is having a strong, very long culture, and we also know that many temples, there are so many years, there are temples. I think Henkel can play a big role there. Maybe we are, I don't know, you have explored, or I think there are a lot of areas where we can explore in that way.
Absolutely, we can, and we are more than happy to, especially if there is a restoration project for any of our heritage sites. I know personally one example, and I'm sure there are others, where two of my colleagues, Yogesh Thakar and Vikram Chitgopkar, both of them are based in Pune. They were personally involved in restoration of a deity's statue or idol in Pandharpur at a temple, and both of them actually did it in a with the perfect rituals. So they actually, were dressed in the right clothes and doing when the work in the garbhagriha of the temple. They did a wonderful job, and we got a lot of appreciation from the temple authorities for doing that. I'm sure there are a lot of other examples, but I can tell you that we are committed to, if there is any place or area that we can bring value to in the restoration efforts of our heritage sites, we would be more than happy to do that. We do that for many of our customers, our industrial customers, where we help them to repair, restore, and get more out of the service life of their industrial assets every day.
See, what I just came in my mind, the mortals of Dr. Vernon Kribble and Mr. Fritz Henkel, they should never have been thought that, thousands and lakhs of people go and worship these gods, and they are also able to enable their small invention, otherwise their small start before a decade, before a century, is helping many people around. And there I am again telling, it is not something your regular product you are using for all these applications. I think you need to develop certain special applications for it, right?
It's a combination of both, Hari. So I think we are the world's largest manufacturer of adhesives. We have a very broad range of solutions in our offering. We serve over 800 different industry segments. And every year, our sales teams, our technical experts visit more than a million customers and serve them on a regular basis. So there are a lot of times where when we have a solution in our bag already, and we can bring it, and that's the most common way. And again, we keep developing new products every year, which means our bag becomes bigger and bigger. But there are times when we have to customize our products, and not only for these novel applications that we spoke of, but also for our customers. And innovation actually plays a very important role there for us, and it's a big part of our focus. We have around the world technical innovation centers, which make us closer to our customers. So we have one in Pune, Hari, where you are. We have an innovation center there. So we can work with our customers to capture the needs. We have scientists, a number of scientists actually based over there who can develop the formulations locally. We have an application lab, so we can actually simulate how the adhesives will actually perform in the real life operating conditions. We can do automation. Our customers can come and get the experience of using adhesive on their line even before they can start using it. And all of these centers, innovation centers, are then interconnected so that we can leverage the global know-how and make sure that our global knowledge and resources are available to our customers wherever they are around the world. So we can develop these formulations or solutions as per our customer needs using these innovation centers.
That is absolutely wonderful to know. That I will see that as there is innovation center in Pune. I will try to visit there, because
Absolutely.
it's a long time that I also got detached with Henkel. After you gone recently, there was an exhibition in uh, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, NG where I got the opportunity to go and visit, and there was a person from your marketing, who was making some videos, and we had some chat. And see, I am using Loctite pen. Actually, I'm using Loctite Dairy. So you are everywhere. So I like red, the color. What?
Hari, some bonds are forever. They are invisible bonds, right? Like most of the Loctite bonds, you can't see them because they are not visible. They are hidden, but they are forever, right? So that's how your bond with Henkel is. Even if it was not visible, it
Yeah,
was
it
there.
is. Yeah. Thank you. So we have very limited time, but then we need to catch up a lot. So basically, now 20 plus years is a big time for a person to be at one place, and you are there in Henkel for all this time, and step by step, you came to this position of heading the APAC region. So, can you just tell me that your career journey from Bangalore till now, where you are sitting in Singapore, in a
Right.
nutshell?
Yes, so I joined Henkel actually in 2001 in Bangalore, Hari, as you also mentioned right at the beginning, and I joined in marketing, and that's when I met you and many of other publication colleagues, and created that invisible but lasting bond. I moved to Shanghai first time in 2007, and I was there until 2013. And there I did several roles in marketing. I was heading our marketing for adhesives in Asia Pacific before I moved back to India, and headed our general industrial business in India, but also led our maintenance MRO business, maintenance repair and overhauls business in IMEA region, India, Middle East, and Africa. And then 2018, I moved back into a regional role, previously based out of Shanghai, now in Singapore. I am responsible currently for two of our business verticals, general manufacturing and maintenance business, as well as our consumer adhesives business. So these two verticals are primarily focused on within the general manufacturing and maintenance business. We serve SMEs, industrial OEMs, uh, who customers who use our products for making their parts and devices and machines. So we are kind of a machine maker's aid over there. We also have a customer group which uses our products for maintenance and repair. So they use our adhesives for making sure that their machines perform at the same spec that they were designed for. We increase the value and asset life of those machines, and we help them to become more efficient. Over last 20 years, many times I get this question asked that why you stayed with one company for 20 years. Frankly, I didn't have to change the company to change the jobs. So Henkel, in that way, is believes in giving opportunity to people to take on different challenges. We allow and encourage and enable our team members to take on different roles, and both in terms of their functional mobility, but also geographic mobility, like I have done. So I think that's a really good part. But in the end, I think it's all about people. I have been fortunate that I've worked with some amazing colleagues around the world. I've been fortunate to be part of and leader of some of the most talented teams in the industry, not only in adhesive industry but in the industrial world. And I think that is the biggest bond, right? And that keeps you where you are. I also, by nature and education, I'm pretty curious. Uh, uh, love to know how things work and how you can make them work better. And adhesives, the business that I'm in allows me to work with 800 industry segments, as I said. So every day there is something new to learn. There is some new challenge that you can talk about. And last but not the least, I think you need a purpose, right? And I believe in Henkel and the business that I'm in, we are transforming many industries and enabling their future readiness. So I spoke about mobile phones. I spoke about how sustainability we are helping our customers to achieve their goals. So that purpose is, I think, at once uh, is extremely important when you want to spend that. You still want to have that passion after working for 20 years or 30 years. So like you've been in the publishing industry for so long, I think that purpose is extremely important.
And actually, I will have two more questions to discuss on this with your this 20 years of experience. One is that you were in adhesive industry for last 20 years. So, but you have seen even maybe the base is same, but the applications have changed. You were talking about the aeroplane. Now, aeroplanes are becoming more lighter. The cars needs to be becoming more lighter. There is a big trouble of carbon, footprint reduction, climate change, and I think even adhesive plays an important role in all these aspects. So how you see the technology change? You talk about media. We are like disruption every other day. The entire business, we only used to know space selling at one point of time, and before 5 6 years it is like you go home, there is no job, your job is disrupted. Google have came and things change. So what kind of disruptive technology you witnessed over last 20 years in the adhesive sector?
Yeah, I think adhesive is an enabler, right? So our adhesives actually enable many of these disruptive changes. And in the process, we disrupt ourselves as well. I mean, it has been a journey of adhesives for Henkel and for within the Loctite brand, where we are continually improving the performance of adhesive, the sustainability element of adhesives, the longevity of adhesives, or durability of adhesives. So adhesives become much more reliable. They can be used in much more demanding applications. They could be much more sustainable. So have in the end, it's a chemical. So we want to minimize the footprint that we have on the climate. So our adhesives are becoming increasingly sustainable. But what's I think changing in last couple of years, Hari, is when and Henkel is at the forefront of it when more than two technologies come together. So it started by bringing two different adhesive kinds of adhesive coming together. So one of our Henkel was at the forefront of launching hybrid adhesives, where you have an adhesive which is very fast working and another adhesive technology which is actually very strong. And how can you combine together? And we demonstrated that technology in 2018 with our hybrid adhesives when using 3 grams of adhesives, just 3 grams of adhesives, we were able to pull a train which was weighing more than 280 tons. 3 grams of adhesives, 280 tons, and the bonding time or assembly time was only 30 minutes. So within 30 minutes, you can assemble and then pull 280 tons of train. What's the future is where we are actually able to combine the technology of adhesives with Industry 4.0, which means that we are able to combine the adhesives and the modern sensor technology and the data capturing and transmission know-how so that the adhesives can share the information about the machines and machines' health with the customer and the user. I'll give you one example. We work with many of the refineries, and one of the biggest concerns for them is the leakages, whether it is coming from the flanges or from the pipelines. And we offer our customer solutions for addressing the leakages when there is an emergency, but also making sure that they are reliable and we don't have these disruptions anytime. We recently actually launched our solutions in Europe, and we are now bringing them to Asia, where we can actually combine the Industry 4.0 technology with these flanges, so that the customers know even before the leakage happen, they are able to sense this and get data. So I think the disruptions are happening at multiple level, but in the end, it's also enabling the change in the technology. Now, just imagine this example of the refinery. If we have these smart adhesives inside the pumps, the coating that we do for the pumps, in the flanges that we seal, we are able to predict, not only prevent, but also predict the maintenance failures, thereby reducing the cost for our customers, shutdown cost, repair cost, reduce the environmental impact which some of these leakages have, and build a much stronger efficiency for our customers, right? So I think the value of these adhesives and the innovations is tremendous.
And this is a very important information you told, that I never thought that we are hearing about Industry 4.0 applications, and in India also there are so many applications we can see it, but adhesives and Industry 4.0 is something definitely new thing. Okay, going to the next question to you, Pradyumna. See, you normally in India, leaving political thing, because I never believe China as a competition for Indian manufacturing. Rather, I believe there are a lot of things we should learn from China. The growth they have done on a particular period of time, we were doing comparing and talking, and they were actually doing a lot of stuff. So, and I believe both the countries have their own strength, their own weakness, maybe, and we should see that how we can complement each other and build India as a manufacturing hub, and China will have their own place to be in their work, but we have a lot of things to do. You were there in both the countries, and that also two times. So you gone as a marketing person, and after that you came back and you still gone there in a different role. So how you see both these markets, India and China?
Right. So I truly believe, and I fully agree with you, India has a tremendous opportunity to benefit from manufacturing. I think we moved from being a more agrarian economy. If you see the share of GDP at the time of independence, a big part of that was from agriculture. And most economies, when they develop, they go from being an agrarian society and agriculture to manufacturing and to services. We somehow leapfrog to services, and services somehow are the major contributor to our GDP right now, which is in a way good, but also for our our GDP growth to be more broad based, we need manufacturing, because manufacturing then provides more blue collar jobs, it provides more localized jobs. Uh, India, with its trained and skilled manpower, we have the dividend of having a young population, right? I think the demographic dividend is with us on our side, because we have the youngest population in the world. We have a huge opportunity and a big competitive advantage over many other manufacturing destinations. The biggest advantage is we also have a local captive demand. So if the manufacturers come to India and start investing and start producing more and more, uh, the advantage is they're not only producing to export like in many of the smaller economies. That would be the thing. Here you have an advantage that you have a large domestic demand, but the demand is growing as the disposable incomes are rising, as the living standards are changing, and aspirational standards are rising. Where we face a challenge, and which we can learn from more faster growing economies, is infrastructure. I think what we gain in the factors that I mentioned, sometimes we tend to lose on the infrastructure. which means the cost advantage that we have. Uh, we might be able to make products at a competitive cost and really good quality, but we can't just to ship the product from point A to point B. We might actually lose out on that advantage. The predictability of power supplies or predictability of policies could be another advantage. Secondly, shift in the focus on infrastructure. If you look at this year's budget, it is a milestone budget. I mean, I was so excited to see the budget announcement. And I think I shared some of my thoughts. Uh, the budget provides for in the a majority of our allocation is on development of the infrastructure. This will create demand in the short term and job opportunities in the short term, but the benefits are even far reaching, even longer term, because this will provide the platform for Indian manufacturers to thrive upon and be globally competitive. I think more and more we are simplifying laws. We are making them more predictable. I think the GST was a fantastic example. How you can simplify a tax system and unlock the potential of the economy. So if I was to, I think we are absolutely in the right direction when it comes to the policies related to infrastructure, whether the incentives the government is offering in for the manufacturers in the strategic segments now. We are absolutely in the right direction. I'm very, very confident that India will definitely emerge um, uh, as a major manufacturing player. 1 or 2 years ago, when I was talking to another friend like you, I shared my hypothesis. I think we need to think in terms of SET, yeah, for Indian manufacturing sector to grow, and what government can do, because that was the question I was asked. I think number one, as the government, we can be more strategic, and which is what you see already, that we target those segments where we want to actually win, and we believe that we have the ability to win and we have the wherewithal to win. So I think the PLI announcement recently, production like incentives in strategic sector, was absolutely spot on, and we need to continue to do that. We need to, even in those sectors, we can even go to the biggest players around the world and we can make a pitch that to invite them to come to India so they feel welcome. So that's the first. We need to be more strategic because we can do everything, but there will be some sectors where we'll have a much stronger advantage. E for me means ecosystem, right? If wherever I see large manufacturing economies, I see that they not only are able to uh, give them infrastructure, but they're also able to create a full ecosystem, whether it is related to technical know-how, skilled manpower for those industries, uh, ensuring that there is a full value chain available to those industries. So if you are building an automotive plant somewhere, if you're an OEM, you want to make sure that you have trained manpower, but you also have vendor base which you can have closer to you. So creating that full ecosystem, thinking end to end, is extremely important. And the last is transparency, right? I think as transparent our systems, policies are, I think we're better we'll do. Over last 7 years, we have made tremendous progress on ease of doing business. I think we are simplifying how companies can be set up and started. And I mean, I was recently reading, just look at the startup ecosystem in India, right? Just because the government is facilitating that, number of unicorns in India is unprecedented, right? I mean, so we have we have the right entrepreneurial spirit. We have tons of opportunities. I truly believe that future belongs to Asia overall. This is where the growth is going to come from for the world, or not come from. So we can make a positive or negative change, and India is going to play a very important role in making that change.
Not last the least, we know you as a person who is very, successful in your career. But I also know that personally, in your time, you take time to support the society. Sitting in Singapore and China, you work for India people. So there are lots of social activities you participate. And even I know that, shared by you, when you were there in Pune, you supported CSR, where you empowered many students, local students, by providing them uh, computers, laptops. And if you were at this point of time in India, pandemic was something which, every student now, they need a system, maybe a mobile or a laptop if it is better. There are a lot of things you people are doing even sitting there. Can you just put some light on those activities?
Sure. No, Hari, I've been truly fortunate and blessed that I have met so many inspiring people who are able to give us that channel. I believe that all of us, wherever we are living, we want to do more for our societies, for our country, for humanity in general as well, right? So all of us want to do, but most of us, or majority of us, don't have the opportunity or don't have the channel to do that. And I was lucky that I was able to connect with and know some of these people are who create that platform and give us that source or channel. One of such individuals is Yajurvendra Mahajan. He is the founder of an organization called Deep Stamba Foundation. Yajurvendra is one of the most inspiring people that I ever met. He has devoted his life for enabling the children who come from poverty, from disadvantaged background, children who have physical disabilities, blind, deaf, or other forms of disabilities. He has devoted to make his life to make their lives much better. He not only is helping these children to be to survive, but also to thrive in their lives. Many of the children from Deep Samba Foundation actually are now very successful bank officers. They are in civil services and so on and so forth. Right now, with Deep Samba Foundation, and I'm very proud and honored and blessed to be part of that. We are building an infrastructure, a residential facility, an educational facility for over 300 children in near Jalgaon in Maharashtra. The facility, the construction is almost near completion. We are now looking at how we can do interiors and other facilities. But that facility will be a unique facility where physically disadvantaged or physically challenged children of all ages can live, study, and also learn life skills, vocational skills, to anything that they need to be successful in their lives. I believe that it will not only change of the lives of those 300 children which will go through that every year, but also the lives of their future generations, right? Uh, I think that again, I would urge everyone and anyone who is listening in today or dialing in today. I'm sure all of us want to do. I think we just need to find somebody who can help us to do this, because all of us are busy. All of us have 100 other things that we get pulled into. But if we find a channel, Deep Stamba Foundation is such amazing channel. But I'm sure there are ones that are closer to you and are easier for you to connect with as well.
See, this is something what we all should do, I believe. Add that our whatever able way of empowering the society, giving back to the society, which is very important. One way I'm happy that my profession itself is so beautiful that I get this opportunity to talk. People like you spread these messages, and one person who is hearing this entire thing can make a big difference in these initiatives what people are doing. And my best wishes to you and to the foundation, so that they achieve more and more, so that more people are going to get benefited.
Thank you.
uh, Pradyumna, it was, you have always that smile in your face, such inspiring seeing you, talking to you. And I am sure the people whomever you are getting in touch with, the businesses, whatever you are doing, and you will spread this smile among all. And today's our discussion is all about, touching lives through these technologies, what we are all working with. I'm very happy to have you in this point noted session. We took 10 minutes extra, but it was worth it hearing from you. And I would love to have you again in some of the sessions. This is just a start.
It's a pleasure, Hari. And when friends talk, the time just goes by and you never realize. And only when you said that we are 10 minutes over, I realized that we are actually 10 minutes over. My best wishes to you, best wishes to your team, but also everyone who is logged in. Please stay safe, stay healthy. That's most important in these times, especially, but always. And Hari, it would be a pleasure and honor to be on your show, on your platform anytime that you think I can be there. I would love to be there and have this conversation. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, listeners who were there with us for the last 40 minutes. And we will meet you again with yet another episode in Point Noted next week. Thank you very much. See you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.